Welcome to the Communication Theory Pumpkin Patch for Dr. Ramos' Advanced Communication Theory Comm 505 class of Fall 2020 at California Baptist University. I'm Hannah Heydrich, and I will be presenting the following presentation of a trip through the pumpkin patch in association with communication theories. There are 7 traditions of communication as developed by Robert T. Craig. These 7 traditions are the semiotic, the phenomenological, the cybernetic, the socio-psychological, sociocultural, critical, and rhetorical traditions of communication. The following presentation will discuss these 7 traditions of communication along with 3 theories that have been developed by various communication scholars and are associated within the 7 traditions of communication. So the first tradition is semiotic. It is related to picking a pumpkin because it is the main reason behind visiting the pumpkin patch. Once the visitors have picked out their pumpkin, they'll begin to venture into the rest of the activities and the events provided by the pumpkin patch. So the semiotic has 3 elements, which are signs, symbols, and basic elements. 3 theories associated with the semiotic tradition are the symbolic interaction, in which people come to share meanings for terms over time, the symbolic convergence, in which individual meanings become written words with symbols, and the materiality of nature, which is the creator of communication. The second tradition is the phenomenological tradition, in which is represented by embracing your inner child, which is having imagination and wonder in bringing people together and codependence upon one another. And so the phenomenological tradition is the individual giving meaning to things through personal relationship with those things, experience, which is direct, unmediated contact with others. So 3 phenomenological theories are the co-cultural theory, in which interactions with various demographics happen. So basically this means that people are interacting with one another even though they're from different backgrounds. Communication apprehension is when a communicator's experience has contact with either positive or negative anxiety. And then relational prayer is a communication phenomenon in which the person has contact or a discussion with a higher power that they believe in. The cybernetic tradition is represented by carving a jack-o'-lantern, because it is a complex process of transforming a pumpkin into a work of art. The cybernetic tradition is defined by systems in which sets of interacting components come together to form something more than just parts, and then is represented by self-regulation, in which systems are monitored, regulated, and controlled by their outputs to remain stable and achieve results. 3 cybernetic theories are the actor network theory, which accounts for the role of the object in the communication interaction networks with humans. So this basically means that humans and inanimate objects have a form of communication. Next is media dependency, in which people are dependent on the media and are affected strongly by its content. And media equation is treating media as though they are human. So this is basically giving human characteristics to non-human objects. The socio-psychological tradition is represented by a corn maze. So the corn maze is evaluating human behavior evaluating human behavior seems confusing. However, after observations have been made about that person, the pieces come together and there's a route to understanding why the person behaves the way that they do. So just like in a corn maze, someone can get lost and they have to determine how to find their way out. There is also a psychological way to do this in understanding other human beings. So socio-psychological tradition is made up of the individual's mind, which is the locus for processing and understanding information. It is also made up of persuasion, which is a process by which individuals interact and influence each other. So the three socio-psychological theories are uncertain reduction, which is an ease of suspicion and lack of trust in someone or something, and expectancy violation theory predicts ambiguous behavior that could be interpreted negatively. Interaction adaptation is a communication agent that can engage in dialogue. The socio-cultural tradition is represented by a hayride. So, it is a social norm to have a hayride at a pumpkin patch, as it brings the people who are participating at the pumpkin patch together and they share in the fun and excitement of the event. So, the socio-cultural tradition is made up of an ethnography, which is how society groups build meaning, and the speech act theory, which is the practical use of language. So the social cultural theories include the cultural identity theory, which describes the communication process used by individuals to construct and negotiate cultural group identities and relationships across contexts. And then the speech act theory is successful statements to have an intention understood, which is relating to promises and when a promise is made of whether it's fulfilled or goes unfulfilled. The identity negotiation theory is the tension between personal and cultural identities. The critical theory is defined by a concession stand in which it has pumpkin spice lattes available for the people to buy, and these drinks are often criticized, and it is brought to awareness as the companies try to change the recipes to please their buyers and to keep them coming back for more, but the people are always arguing the recipe. And some people don't even like pumpkin spice lattes. I don't understand. So it's made up of Marxism, which is considered the source of contemporary critical theory, and the critique of political economy, in which a concept is taught by the Marxists stating the economy is the basis of all social structure. Critical theories include the contemporary critical theory, which determines social injustices, the feminist theory, which is liberal and radical, and queer theories, which are social constructs of discourse regarding gender. All of these theories are based on social constructs that are trying to be adapted and changed, and the people are always inciting them. The rhetorical theory is take a deep breath and it's finally fall mood. So what this means is the person has to realize that it's a new season, and being at the pumpkin patch, also, especially in California, helps them to come to connection with the thoughts that it is a new season. So it causes the person to have introspection and realize their place in time. Rhetorical tradition is created or includes a creator of messages, a medium, which is speaking, writing, and nonverbal symbols, and purpose, which is an invitation to understanding. Rhetorical theories include invitational rhetoric, which is the purpose of communication is not to persuade, the animate rhetoric, which is the intersection between humans and animals, and relational prayer, which is the use of language for persuasion purposes of a higher power. So all of these theories are used toward inanimate objects, however they are very purposeful. So thanks for visiting the pumpkin patch and learning more about how the communications theories can be explained through 5 activities at the pumpkin patch and 2 emotions. Some resources that were used in this to create this presentation was the Communication Theories of Field article by Robert T. Craig and the Theories of Human Communication textbook by Littlejohn and Foss. Thank you for joining us today and hope you learned more about some communication theories.